feminism in the beginning, like the first wave, was very much needed.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, women couldn't vote, they couldn't work, they couldn't do none of these things back in the day.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, all you had to rely on was a man, and the man held all the power because women couldn't work and do all that stuff. It's like, how you gonna leave? Like, you can't work.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it gave these men out here to do whatever they wanted to do. So now when they got this freedom,
they got the leverage. They basically had all the leverage.
men had all the leverage. So now in today's world, whereas women had to look for men for resources and protection, now they could just buy
They
it.
got the resources.
Women can now just go out there and buy it themselves.
Exactly.
They can go provide for themselves and do all these things. So that's when a woman says, I don't need a man, they mean they don't need you for resources and protection.
I was with you until that last line right there, because the way that a lot of women say that they don't need a man with such passion and vigor, it has to be negative. So basically, it's more with me of how the women are saying it now, like beating their chests and things like that. And truthfully, I wouldn't want a woman to just like need me, because if she needs me, it's kind of like once she doesn't need me, she's going to discard me. And look, I've been on the record saying that I believe the first wave of feminism was necessary, because obviously a lot of men, especially in the upper echelon, was getting over. Not that they're still not getting over today, but it was more men even on the lower brackets that was getting over on their women. And it's kind of like how it is now with marriage. Back then, I guess a woman had to rly on that man being a heavily sent type of really good guy in character to not abuse his powers. But as I see definitely in marriage, now that it's flipped around, women aren't that much better when they have too much power, because a lot of them will abuse it. Not all of them, but a lot of them can and will. And of course, though, she may be good today, but bad tomorrow. Anyway, let's begin. Welcome, my friends, to the RP Experience. Peace and love to my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and turn on all notifications so you know when I have a whole new video up. Today's video is like a multifaceted video, so I'm not sure how I'm going to label it, because I'm going to be talking about two separate things, but aligns on the same thing. And basically, was feminism necessary? Yes, I believe it was. Not the additional waves. I'm not sure about the second wave as much, but I know pretty much now women had the upper hand and they kept pressing the attack to further. Now, however, they are changing some laws now, but see, I think that's more of because men that have money and means, but may not be Chad and Tyrone, because I believe Chad and Tyrone, they're not having any problems out here getting women. The same thing with Pookie and Ray Ray, even though they probably in and out of jail, so that's their issue right there. But they also clean up on women, the players as well. They're having their fill of women, because even if they are not the best looking or the toughest and roughest, they don't mind playing the field, and they don't mind using and abusing women, So there you go. The decent guys are pretty much, not in all cases. Sometimes a good woman and a good man happens to find each other and manage to have a moment of like loving connection until they let other people come in and muck it up. And actually, yeah, that brings me to the Ariana Grande and whoever that dude is that she home wrecked. But on the other hand, was he a weak man? Or truthfully, I think it's both. That she was out of pocket doing what she did, but also he was weak as well. So actually, Candace Owens has a very good small clip that she did, and I'm going to share that right now.
Better wake up to the fact that feminism is a lie. And the women that tend to experiment the hardest with feminism, who love the word I'm a feminist, who love to preach to you about girl power, always have deep-seated issues. And for a lot of these women, first time I heard this about Ariana Grande, first time I heard the story, I said, she obviously has daddy issues. It's abundantly clear that Ariana Grande has daddy issues. She likes to pursue men that are in stable relationships, and she likes to rip those relationships apart, which signals to me that obviously there is something that is plaguing her from her childhood. Women, or to-be women, rather young girls, need strong father figures, or else they become a disaster in society. Father issues. And what happens when people are hurt? They hurt other people. Now, of course, Ariana Grande is not going to stay with this man. And by the way, I want to make it clear, I'm not just attacking her. It's very clear that this man is at fault. It's obvious. Look at him. He's a dweeb, okay? This is the first time that a girl that he thinks is way above, he's boxing way above his weight class here. Oh my God, Ariana Grande, she's looking at me. And he has completely lost his mind because he's a weak man aside from being a dweeb. He's an incredibly weak man, and he allowed one girl to take a glance at him, and he ruined his entire life. And not just his life, he's ruining the life of his child.
She makes an excellent point right here. Gosh, I gotta admit, Candace Owens, kind of like Andrew Tate, is like an excellent debater. They're not always right, though. But in her case right there, which I like her balance take or something, because is both of them. But the only thing, though, is whenever we look at both in a case like that, it always seems like when a woman takes a step out on the man, it's always an excuse. She wasn't happy, or she wasn't. I hate when my phone alarm goes off when I'm in the middle of recording. Anyway, as I was finishing the thought, there's always an excuse when a woman steps out on a man, though. If it's not like I'm not happy, I already said that, but it's also a thing like in Megan Fox case. Oh, she met her twin flame. Oh, and she was married with a guy, and I didn't hear anything about infidelity or anything going on in their life bad. Even though I'm pretty sure they had their issues. Anyway, she leaves her husband for Machine Gun Kelly. So, I that's the only thing. I don't usually see women go after women that step out on their partners or their lovers. They're usually like mum. They don't say nothing. So I agree with Candace Owens, but however, it always seems like when women do it, it's always an excuse.
His first child, as well as the life of a woman who has loved him for the last 10 years. So yeah, he is a dweeb and he is a loser. And because he is a weak man, he will of course not be able to keep Ariana Grande. Don't even think about it. These two are not going to skip off into the sunset. That's not what she does. Ariana Grande is a viper, right? The sport for her, the high for her is breaking up the relationship. She's not going to stay with him because he's already committed to divorcing his wife. So the game is over for her. She's a fake feminist. She likes feminism because feminism is a plaything for broken women. Women that feel failed by men in some capacity and want to seek revenge. They are the ones that tell you that men ain't. But in reality, what we are facing today is a crisis of too many women that are acting like and Ariana Grande is among them. And that's all I have to say about that.
As I say, she an excellent debater, so I gotta give her that. Maybe one day I will have those type of skills. But then again, though, do I want to just be constantly arguing with people? Well, that's why I have these videos to put out my point of view, but to show that I'm not really biased. Now, of course, I have some biases, but I try to be as fair as possible because both sides can be foul. And she pretty much summed it up. Now, I have one more video to share before I break out of here, and this is the video about my body, my choice. Now, this the creator said that she posted this video and it got deleted, but now, and this is the thing I'll let a woman speak on because obviously, if a man speaks on it, women lose their freaking mind. So let's go.
Wade has been overturned. Yeah, but it wasn't banned or anything. It just means that the federal government gave the right to decide on the law back to the individual states. What am I supposed to do now? Well, birth control, condoms, and Plan B are all readily available at multiple different facilities and sometimes even for free. You don't understand. This is a war on women. Oh, I'm glad to see that you remember what a woman is. How can you be okay with the government just taking away our people's right to choose? Actually, by giving the power back to the states, it gives us, the people, more right to choose. But it's my body, so it's my choice. Oh, it's interesting you still feel that way after spending the last 2.5 years trying to force vaccines and masks down everyone in this country's throats. That's different. You could kill a person. Oh, so they're only a person when they can catch COVID. Got it. This is gonna get women killed. No, because there's not a single doctor in this country that would deny a woman a medically necessary abortion. And as I mentioned before, there are multiple options that are readily available for you to prevent an unwanted pregnancy before abortion even becomes an option. How inconsiderate of you. What if I'm raped? Are you expecting me to carry my rapist's child? No, absolutely not. That's why there are procedures in place. If you go to a hospital and report it, they'll scrape your uterus clean so there's no possible pregnancy. But I don't want to report it. That's okay. You don't have to tell the police anything if you don't want to, but you can at least be medically taken care of. Speaking of, men shouldn't even get a say in this. This is about my body. Oh, okay. In that case, he doesn't have to pay child support.
Damn, I'm glad she said it. So if we as men have no say so, then look, I said it in a video before, which I do understand woman's point of view because you carry the baby. But if I have no type of say so at all, I should have some type of say of if I want to support that baby. Like if I told the woman that I don't want a kid and she had it anyway, I should be able to step back and be like, yo, I say I didn't want no kids. So sign the paper, you on your own, strong and independent. So see what that creates right there.
What? Well, yeah, if you're going to say that the father isn't involved or matters in the pregnancy, then he shouldn't have to pay child support because he's not involved. Well, but that's not fair. Yeah, that sucks. But it's also not fair for a father's input on the child's life to be completely disregarded just because the mother is the one carrying the child. They're both involved and they are both affected, so they should both get a say. You conservatives are such control freaks. You just don't understand. I wish my uterus had as many rights as a gun. Oh, you want to have as many rights as a gun, do ya? On a federal level alone, there are more rules and regulations about a firearm than there are about your uterus. So you want to be restricted from all federal buildings, movie theaters, school campuses, and banks. You want to be withheld from crossing certain state lines. Oh yeah, and you need to get a serial identification number stamped on that ASAP, and anytime you're pulled over by a police officer, then you are legally obligated to let him know that you possess one. Oh yeah, if you have a uterus during a crime, then your punishment is automatically boosted another 10 or 20 years. Private businesses are allowed to say no uterus is allowed. Oh, and don't forget you have to have a license to carry it. Oh, and if you want a shorter uterus, then you have to pay a $200 tax and wait about 6 months for the government to give you permission and file all the paperwork for that. You still want the same rights as a gun? Alrighty then.
So pretty much those one right here say what I would say. The only thing I would just add to that is that women, make better decisions out here. Make better decisions of the men that you lay down with and who you gonna have kids with. Now, men too, you make better decisions too, because you should know that you get a penalty if the woman gets pregnant and then you gotta go through all the hoopla or something like that. People should be picking people for better reasons, but I know we're just responding to our animalistic attraction thing of what we are attracted to, both men and women. So neither one can kind of call the other one out. The thing is, as I would say with men, if you are not blessed with the genetic lottery to be like having a better selection of women, of course, get your money up. But I also recommend going out the country and experiencing how it is to be one of those top 10% type of men out there. Now, not all countries do it, but some of them do. So you should really do that. With women, if you have a good dude, you better make it work, because a lot more men like me, we are starting to think like, okay, I'm not going to use and abuse women like the players and Pookies and Ray Rays and stuff, or the Chaz and Tyrones. But at the same time, I'm also not going to be wasting my time with women neither, or trying to understand to the extent of like, oh, she's been through a lot of things right there. She's been cheated on in all her relationships. I'm looking at it in a totally different way now. So it's kind of like, hey, you keep making the same mistake. You need to choose better. And that's pretty much it. So have a good day. Give me a like before you go out. Subscribe, because thank you for my new subscribers that I have. I'm closer to 425, my new goal. And then let's move on to 450, then 500. Then let's keep going. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.
Why is modern dating so hard for women?
Because boys be cheating.
That's why?
Yes, boys ain't shit.
Why do you feel that way?
Because I've witnessed it, I've seen it, and it is true. Like
how is it true? Give me an example.
I hate to say it, but all men are the same.
How are all men the same?
Because when they like what they see, they go after it, whether you are in a relationship or not.
You don't think a dissatisfied woman would do the same thing?
Women will. I can agree to that. Women will.
So, with that being said, I could say all women are the same too, right?
Technically, yes.
But how would you feel if I compared you to the next Asian chick that walked down the block?
Okay, I could say. Okay, so it actually depends on the person.
Why is modern dating so hard?
We do not live by your rules, dirty words.